So obviously the Pro Tour, they have the pay-per-view model, and then they get a certain amount of viewers, which then they can pitch to sponsors and say, we have this many viewers. This is why we're this X amount valuable to you. I'd be curious to know if they made it free tomorrow and they just gained viewers heavily for the next few months, because they would gain more viewers. How much more money are they worth to sponsors if they unlock the paywall? And is that amount of money even close to what they're making with the paywall? I'd be curious to know.
Yeah,
probably not.
It's so like, I wish I had the answers and I wish I knew. I have no idea. I have no clue what the right way of doing it is or what's the best way. There's certain situations where it makes you think like the Paige Pierce documentary. We've talked about it a bunch on this podcast as well. If you haven't checked it out, I think it's still on the Disc Golf Network, and you still have like a little bit of time to go check that out.
I think so.
But like, that's an interesting one because, the promotion for that was like, hey, we need as many people to buy this to show other streaming platforms that people want to view this.
Yeah.
And like, the thought is like, okay, yes, if you can show that 100,000 people are willing to spend $5 to watch this, that's super valuable. But could they have gotten I mean, I don't think they got 100,000 people to watch it because I don't think there's 100,000 subscribers for DGN. But if they would have released that on YouTube, could they have gotten 250,000 views?
Yes.
And like, is that super valuable to pitch to people of like, hey, we got
Well, the tough part is once it's free, how do you put it back behind something? Like if I'm Netflix and it's already been on YouTube, why do I want it?
Yeah, I think that's the more important line. What Hunter's saying is like,
I agree. It's a very difficult thing to do.
But yeah, it is interesting. I don't know where that line is, where it's like, and I'm sure the Pro Tour has an idea because they're now talking with real sponsors. But like, I wonder if they just have a line in mind, like, okay, once we think we can get this many like constant viewers, that's when we can unlock it, because now we know we can make more money if we just get all the people that won't pay in. But I don't know what that line is. Maybe they're just looking for a TV deal of some sort. Like, I have no idea.
I will say a positive thing, a company that I had a decent relationship with, no interest in disc golf at all, just emailed me interested in maybe getting into disc golf.
Nice.
So, like, we need more of that. We need more of, like, well-known companies that have money, have budgets to throw around that are interested in disc golf as a product. Because, again, like, how many guys are on tour that have... I don't think there's a single guy on tour that has an apparel sponsorship.
Other than, like, Savage Apparel or something like
VII,
that.
man.
That's not a sponsorship. Like, having someone...
It is, but it's within disc golf. How is it not?
That's a sponsorship is not...
Because they're not being paid.
We'll make jerseys for you, and whenever you
probably
get money...
Not.
What?
I'm saying, I was agreeing, I'm saying they're probably not getting paid X amount. They're probably getting paid adjustable based on what they sell.
Correct. I would say majority of sponsorships are like that. And again, like...
It's different for sure.
Do we want to say $1,000 is a sponsorship? I guess in disc golf terms, sure. But I want to get to the point of where these players, like, the name of the hat that they wear, right? I want that to be like a $25,000 sponsorship to have every time you play in a disc golf tournament, you have their name on your hat, $25,000. Like, get to the point of where this stuff actually makes money, and that only happens with the people listening to this podcast, the people watching this podcast, tune into live coverage. That's the only way that actually those spots matter.
Well, live coverage also has to start covering more cards, because if someone, like, why is it worth it on? We'll just use you. Why is it worth it on your hat if you're only going to be on coverage when you're on chase card and lead card?
Well, that has to do with the spectators too, because if you're at a, if you know there's going to be a constant few thousand people at an event, even if you're not on coverage, there's still some value there. Whereas if you're on fifth card and not a single person is, because like in golf, spectators don't follow groups as much as they will. Like, well, they
see
do.
everyone come
but
through.
they also, they'll sit on a hole and let people go through. That's not a thing. So like the spectator model is so different in disc golf, and also the attendance that like you can't bank any value off of that.
Yeah.
It's only what's seen on Jomez pretty much is what you're going to be able to sell values with.
That's why I think it's so hard to like put value on like wearing a hat or a logo on a shirt or something.
This is where I think the social media side matters more for us right now, because I'm a perfect example. I might make lead card, chase card. This year I've probably been on, outside of like feature cards that I've been on coverage maybe 4 or 5 times, I want to say.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that's hard to sell to a company, because next year it might be 0. I might not make a lead or chase card next year. It's too hard to say. So that's where I think you have to build in the social media side of saying like, no, I'm going to post pictures when I'm at tournaments and I'm going to be having your name. And like, that's where the social media side probably is more heavily weighed for disc golfers than it is for golfers. Because golfers, it's like, you're going to get on coverage. You're going to be seen by media outlets and stuff, where disc golf, you just said it perfectly. If you're not on feature card, you're not on lead card, you're not on chase card, and you're not posting about it, do people really even know that you were at that tournament?